Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the Cars and Keeve YouTube channel. In this video, we're going over the new Greenworks 3000 PSI 2.0 GPM 60 volt hybrid. And yes, we have hybrid. This is able to run off of a cord or off of the batteries. So you have best of both worlds. Now it runs solo in each one of these modes. You can't plug it in to charge the batteries. You get a separate battery charger and the two batteries with this one I bought. It's about $649. It's only available through Greenworks. I believe this in tool only is available at Walmart for $475, I think. There's also a much smaller version of this that's about a 1.2 GPM. I think it's 2000 PSI, but it's a hybrid as well with the 60 volt batteries. I think that's a Walmart tool only for like 200 bucks. So in the product tags below, I'll have it linked to where you can go to Walmart. Now through that affiliate, the channel gets a little commission off each sale, which helps support the channel and obviously pay for things like this. But you can go to greenworks.com as well and pick it up. Obviously it comes in this cart form. I didn't do an unboxing. I didn't show how to install this stuff, but I'll go over it a little bit. The wheels, they're kind of a soft, it's not really rubber. I guess it could be rubber coated, but it's maybe like just a soft plastic. The wheels, they're sturdy. They sit on there pretty good. You have a rod on each side that holds the wheel in and actually goes through the bottom of the frame, and the cotter pin is on the back side. This little piece right here that holds the gun that comes off here, it goes underneath the bolts. That's part of this plate. There's a hook back here that you can hold your hoses. I'll turn it around so you can see the back of it. From this point up, this assembly comes separate, it just goes right in. And then you have some wing nuts here on the side that you use with a couple of bolts to put it together. You install these power cord hooks back here with a screw on each side. It's very easy to put together. The whole main unit comes already together. So you're just putting this on and a few other things. Pretty easy stuff. Now, obviously this being a car wash and car detailing channel, we normally focus on that. But this is kind of a versatile product. So we're going to show a little bit of work outside on my wall and underneath my back porch. We'll show a little bit of the work there, but also how to tune it for car washing and car detailing. The thing is, this has one of those smart PCB boards on it. So it's going to adjust itself to the nozzle size that we use. You have the stock ones that come with it. They are not stamped, so I do not know what size they are. The gun, the wand, and the hoses is the only accessories that come with it. It doesn't come with a foam can or anything like that. It does have a soap detergent tank. It does come with your priming piece. I really don't know exactly what it's called, but it goes right here onto your output. And that's what you'll use to allow it to prime and self-prime to draw out of a bucket, a lake, or something like that using this hose right here. This is very light. So if you're gonna put this in a bucket, it's not gonna sink very well. And this isn't really that long. I think it didn't come with a clip. It should come with something like that. I mean, come on, Greenworks, think of stuff. Who tested it and put this in a bucket and was like, okay, that's good, that'll work. I don't think anybody did. They just make these things and they just say, I hope it works. You also have a 25-foot 1/4-inch steel braided hose. So you have the good material. So it's got somewhat flexibility since it's 1/4-inch and it's lighter than say a 3/8 or 5/16 hose. I'm not really going to test this on my own setup. I'm just going to test this with all of the stock gear. You have some nozzles right here. They actually have like a really nice little rubber here, and the rubber does go over the plastic, unlike the Ryobi that we just reviewed. The plastic was showing, so this is a little more protective, but it's nice seeing that you can, see that it's vertical or horizontal. This is for your car, the 40 degree. The 15 degree, it says it's for a wall. 25 degree, it says it's for a fence. This is your soap detergent nozzle. So if you're using this tank right here, when you use this, it changes the pressure to a certain point to where the machine can recognize it and will start to draw soap from the tank. And then you have your turbo nozzle. It's basically a 0 degree spray and it spins. So this is a very efficient cleaning for like concrete and things like that. The gun that comes with it is actually not bad. It's very no frills, very simple. It's actually well built. The plastic isn't the cheapy, light, crazy, and it's got actually a really good pull, and it's a very small pull. And obviously the input being at the bottom really helps. Instead of it being right here, you have a big, very secure M22 here, double O-ringed, and having that larger area to use your hand makes it a lot easier to tighten down. And when it's tight, it's tight. It's very secure. Then you have your 1/4-inch at the bottom that allows you to hook up your nozzles just like that. Just looking at it, I can tell it's an axial pump, which normally most of your self-priming pressure washers run axial pumps. It has TSS. It's a big pressure switch right here. So it has total start stop. Let's hope it doesn't have a long ramp up and ramp down. Some of these usually do. You have a switch right here, battery off, cord. You have your battery ports here. Be careful with these, like a lot of other battery powered products. That won't feel too good if it slams on your finger. They just finished charging, so that's good. This is your dual charger that you get with it. You get 2 of these 60 volt, 5 amp hour batteries. Now that brings us to something that I really hate and dislike about Greenworks and their battery architecture environment. They have great tools. Not saying that none of it works. Everyone that I've had works amazing. I have an 80 volt blower that's amazing, but this is 60 volt. So now I have 2 different types of batteries, and they also have a 40 volt series. I'm gonna be honest with you, my opinion, but I think it's stupid. I really do. Ego, 56 volt, everything. Ryobi, 40 volt, everything. Oh man, it got me all worked up. Let's turn this around and show you the back, show you some good stuff about this. You have your hanger here for your hoses. That's the back of the plate. Gives you a little bit of instructions there. These are your swiveling hooks that, you know, once you swivel this way, then you can just pull this entire corded area off. Here's where the cotter pins are for the back of the wheels as well. Now, I forgot to mention earlier, there's a push button over here to put it in eco mode. And then obviously I don't quite know what the runtime is. I didn't research that, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna run this at max with the batteries in it until it dies, and we'll just let you know how long that took. Well, that's the overview, but before we get into the fun, don't forget to check out the links below for anything in the video. Don't forget to check out the product tags as well. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to the testing. So let's go through the normal hookup. With that, we're gonna do it corded with a water hose. We have your input here. I have an Ely Quick Connect because Ely's my favorite. I have an Ely spray gun right here. I click that in, and that way I can turn my water on and off from here. So you have your 1/4 inch hose here. It's M22 on both ends. You have your output right here on the side. You're just gonna seat that in there real well. Kind of pull in as you spin. And the great thing about M22s, hand tight, they're not going to leak. Take our gun here, the other end of the hose goes in the bottom. Then we tighten that. If it leaks, I don't have a nozzle, so that way I can purge any air because obviously there's no water in this line. Here we go. Then we'll spray. Get all that air out. I think we've run enough through. I'm going to turn it to the corded symbol. Ooh, that's pretty quiet. It does have a slight ramp up. See, I click. Takes about 3 or 4 seconds to kick in, which is going to be a problem washing cars because your foam can is just going to be dribbling soap until it fully kicks in. So here's the 40 degree on the panel. That's got a pretty good little bit of pressure there. I'm gonna go see what's the GPM on that. I got a meter on the wall. We'll just check that, and then we'll do the bucket test for a few of them later. Yeah, I don't know. It says like 1 gallon a minute on my wall. I was expecting with the 40 degree nozzle, it says it's 2.0 GPM max, but with what? Obviously that's one of those internal marketing numbers. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna detach this, and I'm gonna use an adapter to make this a little bit shorter. It's gonna be much easier for car washing type stuff. You're basically replacing this long wand with this little adapter right here. You have M22 threads there, and you have your 1/4 inch. So it makes this much, much shorter. It's gonna make it a lot easier to check pressure. 2,500 PSI on the 40 degree nozzle. That's why we're not getting 2 gallons a minute, because it's at the higher end of its pressure. But there's no way out of the box that I think you're gonna be able to get the 2 gallons per minute. Now the problem is you don't wanna use 2,500 PSI washing your car. That's what you're gonna use for other jobs, for like concrete. You don't wanna use that on your wood because you'll fray it. You don't wanna use it on your siding that's painted because you'll rip the paint off. Vinyl siding, it would probably work pretty good on. Things like that, which kind of sucks because out of the box, corded with the water hose, you basically have to buy a nozzle to be safe enough. They may think the 2,500 is safe for a car, but it really isn't. Let's check the 25 degree nozzle. That's 2,500 as well. So it's the same nozzle size between the 40 and the 25. It just feels so much more powerful because that 2,500 PSI has gone from this wide of a spray to this wide of a spray. And when we go to the 15, if it's the same pressure, but it's a much smaller impact area, it should hit pretty good. So the 15 degree got 2600 PSI, so it's a slightly smaller size. That's a lot. Now I said, oh, it's not safe for car paint. But if you were to take that 40 degree at 2500 PSI and step this far back, you'd probably be okay. You just don't want to be this close. Since it's corded, we can measure amps, and we're still right at 1 gallon per minute on our meter and 14.5 amps with the orange. The white being 2500 PSI instead of 2600, it's going to be slightly better on the amps. Now on the meter on the wall, we were still getting just 1 gallon per minute, but on the amp, since it's corded, was 14.5. That 100 PSI difference between the orange one and the 2500 on the white one is a full amp. So it was 13.5 amps with the white and the green one. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of disappointed. We've only seen 1 gallon per minute so far. Let's try some nozzles, see what happens. So this is the smallest test nozzle that I have. It's a 2.0. It's 1800 PSI. So the nozzle they have is like a 1.5 or so, or maybe even less. Really small. So this should open up, should give us more gallons per minute, but let's see what the amp rating is as well. So we got 1.3 gallons per minute. That was a big improvement there at that 1850. But the weird thing was the amps were up. It was at 14.8 amps. And you can hear it. It sounds like it's working a little bit harder. So this is a 2.5. So about 1350. Let's see how much more it opened up. So we're at 1.4 gallons per minute, but it went down to 13.8 amps. So that's kind of weird how the amps are working with this machine. So this is a 3.0. That's our dead on 1000 PSI. Let's see what the gallons per minute is. It says 1.45 gallons per minute, so not a big amount, but the amps is way down to 12. We can try one more nozzle. Let's go try 3.5. That's about 825. Way down on the amps to just 10 amps, but our gallons per minute did not change at all. Still 1.45 gallons per minute. So it's tuning us down. It's not allowing us to open up and get potential out of the machine. So it's too smart for its own good, I say. So let's change this thing to battery and see if there's a difference. I'm gonna turn it to the off position. They're both fully charged with 4 bars. They just came off the charger, ready to go. We change to battery. Then we run. Makes the same noise. So now we're in battery power. We can see what the difference is. Obviously we can't check the amp meter or anything like that, but we still have the garden hose going into the unit. It is the same 2500 PSI. So it's not losing any performance. Let's check the orange to make sure it's 2600 like the other one was. Then we'll know the performance is the exact same between battery and corded. 2600 PSI. Let's check to make sure that GPM is the same. The exact same, 1 gallon per minute on there. That reads a little low. So the bucket test, it probably is closer to 1.1. Let's check out eco mode. Eco mode engaged, a mode I will never, ever use. But I mean, somebody like me, like it may get us down to a workable pressure on the nozzle here. And who knows, maybe the gallons per minute goes up. Let's find out. Eco mode still popping out 2320 on the 40 degree. That's not really that eco, is it? 15 degree nozzle. 2370. That's not a whole lot of eco. Is there 2 different modes? Nope. Just on and off. It's the same, if not just a little bit less, like 0.98 or something like that. So let's change to the siphon with the batteries to see how much the performance changes, whether it's siphoning versus being fed water. All right, so we're disconnecting our garden hose. Now we have to disconnect our gun hose. We attach our priming adapter. We'll see leak-wise if we have to tighten this down or can it be just hand tight. And we'll put our hose back in here. Bring our bucket over here. We'll run straight with this hose. Dip that in the bucket. You see how it wants to float in that bucket? Doesn't want to stay down. It wants to float all the way to the top. It's so dumb. Like, how can you guys come up with these products and not be able to figure this kind of stuff out? So now the best way to siphon is to take your nozzle out. We're going to turn it to battery. We're going to pull the trigger and let it go. Oh, it siphoned itself. Siphoned itself with it being on. You saw there's a little bit of leakage come out of this little, that's the siphon part. That's it's allowing that vacuum or whatever it's doing to allow that to pull. We got water. Is there a change in difference between the siphon and the garden hose fed? So it starts out and gets almost 2,500 PSI, but it just starts to drop and it leveled out about 2,350. Stayed there. Check the 40-degree out. So 2,400 PSI, it did just what the orange one did. Then it dropped down to about 2,300 and stayed around 2,300. So I'm not even gonna test siphoning with it corded because I believe it's gonna be about the exact same because we know that corded versus battery was about the exact same, but we could test to see if a foam cannon works with it. We'll grab our Rincovo Snow Pro off the wall here. It's my current favorite foam cannon. It's about 30 bucks on Amazon. Just so many features and durability for the price. Incredible suds, 32-1 in the bottle. Code CARS-A-KIVI to save your 10% at the House of Rags. But I pre-dilute it because it is a little thick, but it's a very good soap. And it foams like crazy. And when you pre-dilute it, you're only using exactly what you need. So we have a 1.25 in here. Let's see how it foams with that. We may have to switch to a 1.1 because this thing's not pulling many gallons per minute. So fair warning, it had turned off on its own and I didn't realize that. I kept pulling the trigger, nothing would happen. I had to switch it off and then switch it back. What the F is this? What the crap is that? It's self-adjusting to the orifice size inside the foam cannon. I don't even think a 1.1 is going to help with this, but we'll try. So now we have a 1.1 in here, but with what we got with the 1.25, I'm not too confident here. Okay, it can foam with a 1.1. It's runny, but we're also spraying onto a wet panel. Well, we can show you how to rinse off with the 40-degree. So you saw for car washing how long that took. There just isn't enough water. It's like 1 gallon per minute, but it's 2,400 PSI. Now, obviously, did we get it off? Yes, we got it off. It's not like you're saying it doesn't do it. It just takes longer to not have all that water. So I wanted to quickly check the foam cannon with it being the garden hose fed. It's still off of the batteries, but maybe it's slightly better. Much better. So let's try the 3.0 nozzle, which is about 1,000 PSI and 1.45 gallons per minute on the meter. It might be closer to 1.5 or 1.55, something like that with the bucket test. So you notice it still took a little while because it's a 25-degree nozzle, not a 40-degree. So, you know, it's a smaller width of spray. So let's just go ahead and cut over to me working on the wall on the side of my house and a little bit of my back porch. So we have the pressure washer outside hooked up to our 500-gallon bladder. I use this for DI testing. Let's see if it primes. There, now it's primed. This is with the 15-degree. See, it works, but you can tell that lack of water, the lack of flow at just 1 gallon per minute. It does take a little bit longer to clean this than say a gas pressure washer would at the same pressure. So over here we have a little area where some green mold is starting to grow again. Underneath here where the water comes underneath the porch. Let's try this out. A little bit of red clay debris here. Most of this red clay here, this is completely stained. I've had companies come out. I've used everything I could. It does not come out. So you're able to get the new dirt, but this is the staining I'm talking about that does not come out. It's there forever, basically, unless I have it resurfaced. So this is the bucket test. Very simple. We have a bucket on a scale. The scale's been zeroed out to the bucket weight. I added this after the fact because this weight doesn't matter. Then when it's done, we're just going to take the weight divided by 8.34. That's going to get us our gallons per minute. Wow, that's not much water. It did get over a gallon per minute though, because we're at 8.64. divided by 8.34, it's 1.035, so 1.04 gallons per minute with their car washing nozzle at 2400 PSI through the battery. Now, I do want to mention I'm actually letting this go to 1 minute and 2 seconds because it takes 3 seconds to get ramped up basically fully. So for that 2 seconds that's run, a little bit of water came out. So I'm hoping that's pretty accurate, but I mean, it's kind of hard to be accurate when you have a ramp up this slow. So 13.50 divided by 8.34, it's 1.618 gallons per minute, 1.62 gallons per minute. So I'm gonna knock it down to 1.6 because of the whole ramp up and all that kind of stuff, just to make sure we're not overstating. So 1.6 gallons per minute, 1000 PSI, not bad with 3.0 nozzle. I didn't go to a 3.5 because earlier it didn't change on the wall. The smart thing was kicking in dumb. You know, not bad numbers. Let's check the runtime now. So in typical Key fashion, I forgot to hit the record button when I ran the runtime test. I also did the decibel test at the same time. So 6 feet, 76 decibels, 3 feet, 79 decibels. Pretty quiet. It's not the 68 decibels they said. I don't know what distance they measured that at and what mode they had it in. From runtime, the batteries were 4 bars before we started the runtime test, and I'd say 4 to 5 minutes of testing. So 33 total minutes of runtime. I checked the website. They don't even state what the runtime is for the machine, but that's typically what I would expect out of a battery-powered pressure washer. Now you saw it did pretty well on the wall. It did pretty well on the back porch, but truly it is not replacing a gas pressure washer. A gas pressure washer will do the same PSI, but double the gallons per minute. So it's going to basically have double the cleaning efficiency, having twice the water at the same pressure. And for car washing, if you use a 3.0, we get 1.6 gallons per minute out of 1,000. That's not bad at all. But you have a $150 Ryobi that can do better than that. But the small niche of maybe apartment dwellers or somebody who lives on a lake and wants to wash their car by the house corded, but also wants to bring this down to the boat dock to wash the boat off. If you get that kind of money, you have the battery power to do that. So you kind of have both. I mean, it's okay. I wouldn't really recommend it. It's a good innovation into the market. Maybe somebody can come out with something a little bit better that does the same thing. It'd be cool if you could charge them inside the unit with the cord. That'd be cool and not have to take them out and put them on a charger. But you know, who knows, maybe we're asking a little bit too much for that. So don't forget to check out the links below for anything in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thing right here that holds the, whoa, this little thing right here that, golly, this little piece right here that holds the gun. Stop hitting shit. This little piece right here that holds the gun. This little piece right here that holds, oh my gosh. It's not going to sink to, oh God, dang. Wow, I can't do that much longer. Oh God, leave my knees. Holy crap. Eco mode. Oh, so I'm sitting here thinking it has an eco mode, but it's corded. It doesn't need eco mode. Oh, damn you.